when I was when I was really young, my favorites were like Elvis and Beach Boys, and then eventually like Steve Miller Band and the Eagles, and at some point Hendrix, or actually I think before Hendrix was Aerosmith. I think it was Aerosmith for quite a while, and then it was Hendrix, and then I mean, when I say it was like a deep phase. Like a lot of these Aerosmith and Hendrix and Elvis. I mean, each one of those as I got older was like obsessive, listening to all this stuff and trying to learn every Hendrix tune. And then at 12, I moved to a different state and had a different teacher. Actually, my teacher previously was kind of uh, not a great influence, but when I moved to my new state, I had a teacher who was a great influence named Dustin Jones in Arizona, and he showed me guys like Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen, and that kind of stuff. And at first, I was kind of like, "Ooh, I don't know," like I had this weird like, that's not the soul stuff," like. Then I was 12, so I don't even know where I got indoctrinated that way. But uh, Steve Vai kind of helped me get into some of the other shredders because he was the least shreddy in a sense. And then yeah, then I got into all the shred guys, and Steve Vai was my favorite for like a long time. And then Paul Gilbert became a favorite. And then I got really interested in jazz. I mean, I was interested in jazz and classical music the whole while, but um, I didn't quite know how it applied to guitar. Um, and yeah, I was got really big into Joe Pass and guys like that, but I wasn't like playing that stuff. I wanted to learn, and there was no one in town who could really teach me. I thought there was a couple people I thought there was a couple people who knew how to play jazz, but they would really like bogart that information because the moment that they show somebody else, suddenly they just increase the supply in town. You know what I mean? Uh, oh yeah, how many people in your town? Okay, yeah, I think that's probably kind of along the same lines of where I was before Tucson, Arizona at that time. In terms of jazz, like I say, I had a great rock teacher, and he was actually a classical guitar player, but I wasn't doing that. It was so apples and oranges from what I was doing. That was at least. So he did both, but not jazz. And yeah, man, people with the jazz, meaning, I mean, jazz or not, like I like harmony, and jazz is an avenue that really explores harmony in a way that a lot of rock hasn't. And so I wanted to learn jazz, and jazz teachers were kind of like super like mystical about it, like they have to have the planets align, and you just feel it, man, and you got to get into space, and it's just like, come on, man. I'm pretty sure that there's structure here, it's not just jello, melted jello that people are just scooping around in. Anyway, so then I went to the Musicians Institute in Los Angeles at 18, and there I had some of my favorite guitar players as teachers. Although I had only heard some of the names at that point, but they became favorite guitar players, like Scott Henderson and Alex Makachek. Alex Makachek had a huge impact on my life in a lot of ways, as a mentor, as a friend. Um, a lot of lessons were like conceptual stuff. Like on the first day of lessons, he gave me a sheet of paper that any person could really practice for the rest of their life. But also a lot of lessons that were kind of like life lessons, dealing with like the psychology behind learning. There are times when you'd be frustrated doing 12 hours a day or 16 hours a day or whatever. And frustrated with your own playing or at the pace of it. Sometimes it'd feel like it's slow. And so he was a huge impact on how to deal with every aspect in that way. So yeah, that's my history and my music back. But I similarly, like to you, a rock background for sure. Um, and then learning how to play over chords like a jazz guy, or at least not like a jazz guy so much. My goal wasn't to sound like a jazz guy that way. My goal was to be able to, first of all, land on chord tones, you know, add scale tones, add passing tones, and play with triads and superimpose pentatonics over chords and things like that. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Me too. I had similar phases, Led Zeppelin and all those guys, but also King Crimson. There were some albums I really grew attached to, like what's the one? Something like "I'm a Dinosaur" is a track on it. Um, I don't know. I everything I had the album that had like Elephant Talk and all that stuff. Discipline. That stuff was really cool. That was I liked that one, but some of the later stuff I liked too. Yeah, Red was one I liked. I think the album called Red, and then I think there was an album called Starless and Bible Black or something like that, which is really I like that. Yeah, so them too, and actually I had a phase where I listened to a lot of Dream Theater. Yeah, there was a what was it? The Mirror, the one's like junk 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 junk, and it's like chunk 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 chunk, and that's like my first kind of like, and then it does it chunk 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 chunk. It kind of like metrically modulates, changes the way you feel and look at the rhythm that's presented to you, and that was the first time I ever heard that, and it was like, oh, what just happened? Like the ground shifted underneath me, and yeah, then that was a pretty major moment. What was the name of that album? Do you remember? It's a pretty cool one. But yeah, then I got a bunch of albums. So I've definitely had a progressive side in that way. Also, like I grew to like at the same time I was listening to Planet X. I like Virgil Donati's drumming a lot. Same reason, a lot of interesting stuff, metric modulation, and he's I think one of the greatest drummers alive. I think, along with a lot of other great drummers like Marco Miniman, Thomas Lang, Benny Greb. Um, People. Oh yeah, Dennis Chambers. Yeah. Steve Smith. Yeah, he's great too. Yep. Chad Wackerman. Yeah, Gary Husband. He's amazing at many things. Piano. Have you heard the album with him and Alex Makachek? He plays piano and Alex plays guitar. It's a duo album. Very cool, man. It's worthwhile. It's just that it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear just piano and guitar, which is done so rarely, it seems to me, and rarely so well. Yeah. Yeah, he's great. He's great. This is maybe this is a lot of people say their favorite album is Secrets from Alan Holdsworth, which I like. I mean, he's amazing. Oh yeah, that one was one of my first albums. Wardenclyffe Towers. I never knew how to say Wardenclyffe. I guess that's Warden. Yeah. Um. Yeah, that one. That one. Oh yeah, that was one of my first purchases. That one. Actually, I think my first purchases were Wardenclyffe Tower. Um. Sand, which is that's a very I really grew attached to that album. I think a lot of the reason had to do with like how strange it was and how strange my life felt at the time, and how the two kind of became a soundtrack in a way. And I don't know if this was one of the first ones I got or not, but it was immediately one of my favorites. And still is 13 Men of Tane. It's relatively new. 16 Men, yeah. That one, oh yeah. Everything's really clean. Like, I think like that's it really draws me to it. Like the production is really clean and clear. I can hear his guitar really well. The drums sound really good. Yeah, it's I like that one a lot. And also the drummer was don't tell me another drummer that I like quite a lot. His name escapes me at the moment. Oh, let's see. Personnel. Gary Novak. There we go. And actually, Chad Wackerman was on the sixth track. I didn't know that. And then the late Dave Carpenter. That's a bummer. All right. Carpenter died. Yeah, I remember. I remember I was wanting to send him a message about getting him to play on something. It was when I was working on my first record, and I remember I remember where I was and everything when I found out he died. I was like, oh no, such a yeah. It's nothing quite like losing an artist. They're all kind of one of a yeah.